story. You talk and get paid, I spread the news. It's a classic win-win. I already interviewed an ex-pirate about the robbery, but she was as reliable. So you were there when it went down? What were you? Why do I get the feeling you're often in that situation? Tell me about this Captain Petrov. I've heard he's a bit of an... What was your impression of him? I would have loved to have seen it. I'm sure it would make a good story. No one seems to know exactly what was stolen, but everyone agrees it was... Care to shed some light on it? I don't blame you. Last question. About, and I'm quoting, a zoo gone wild. The other source swore up and down that alien creatures got out of their cages and went on a rampage. Please, please, please tell me she was telling the truth. It's got to be some Aurora-induced hallucination. You mean besides the ratings? I just want to live in a galaxy where eccentric millionaires have out-of-control zoos. But, just give it to me straight. I knew it was too good to be true. Oh well. This is just a plain old good story. And here's your payment. When you first walked into my office, I had no idea you would be at the center. And I get the feeling you're not sharing everything. Indeed you have. I talked with the editor, and he authorized a special bonus for someone... And maybe one day, years from now, you can fill me in. Take care. Come.
I am glad there is still a reliable source of news in the settled systems, though. It often travels significantly slower.
Keeper Aquilus, can we have a moment?
Oh, Mateo. It's been too long. How are your parents?
No, she figured that out a while ago. Had to adjust the pH levels in the soil.
Oh. Well, what's up? Oh. Yeah. How humanity comes together. How we are to love each other.
That's not exactly what we... Keeper, when you talk about unity, well, does it...
Perhaps you should talk about this inside. Now that we have a little privacy, why don't you tell me exactly what it is?
They're like nothing we've ever seen, Keeper. Gravitational distortion, sub-audio harmonic sequencing,
I caught half of that. So, these things are unusual? Even in your... There have always been mysteries that seem to defy our understanding of the universe. Beyond rational, we enter life as an act of someone else's faith in us. There's no way of knowing who we will become. So you've pushed into the unknown, not knowing where it would take you. And it... I think I can. If you're willing to find your way in the dark for a bit longer, I can give you a path of this. There's an old story, far older than the Sanctum Universum, of someone who walked the settled systems and saw every corner of it. This pilgrim claimed he found the true meaning of unity. I always thought of it as just a parable for trying to bring humanity together, but in my story, the pilgrim met the founders of the House of Enlightenment and the enigmatic cult of the Varun. And then he goes to his final resting place to live out the rest of his days in contemplation of infinitum adet. But what if the story isn't a metaphor, but a code? Yes, something must be there. I just can't put my... Maybe the answer will become clear when we have more. The House of Enlightenment and Varun have... Because I wasn't looking to find unity in the same sense you are. A fresh set of eyes. The enlightened work out of the well here in New Atlantis, helping the poorest citizens find Varun worshippers are more enigmatic. But there is a lone zealot that was captured. I visited her a couple of times. Hopefully she'll be...
I'll stay here with the Keeper. We need to catch up. And I wouldn't mind asking him a few more questions.
You are free soon. I need you to know how much it means. There is no way to properly thank you or to repay you. As am I. As grateful as I am, it is hard to feel that... No, there is... I know. Sarah's loss is a huge blow to Constellation. And to each of us, personally. But it could... We cannot. We will press on. We will continue our search. And now we truly know the stakes are too high to do anything else.
Thank you for helping Tahir. Hopefully he'll make a full recovery. If it's about the financial or food assistance programs, we are backlogged. Don't worry, we're doing everything. Oh, we're not.
We understand that you are busy, but this might be important. Anything you...
Listen, I've talked about this with him a ton of times, and there's no record of a Unity pilgrim. Our early records are mostly administrative. Humanitarian projects, group counseling notes, charity expenditures. But there is a series of exchanges the founding members recorded in a lot of detail. It's the closest thing. A man walks into the first house of enlightenment. The founding members just call him the Drifter. So they think he's a charity case at first, but no, the Drifter asks them a bunch of questions. If your philosophy is built on an individual's own morality, what about the second person? That second person might disagree. Isn't the problem of two what you're really looking for? And it kind of goes on like that. He comes back every week for a year. Same conversation every time. Second person this, the problem of two that. Honestly, I think the founding members made it all up. There was a little more hesitation being openly atheist in the early days. I think they were experimenting with writing their own scripture. Fortunately, that got abandoned pretty quick. After the records of the Drifter end, you never see anything. Besides what the Keeper would say about it, sounds like a gathering point. Or in mathematics, it would mean one, like the one. Always happy to help. If you'll excuse me, I've got a lot of...
Gay's place is like second home. Problem is...
I do find that statue pleasing. I wonder if it matches the original vision of the artist, or if they changed the design as they were.
Ranger?
A visitor? I have all the He knows not the truth. He sends another to ask more incessant questions.
Few are willing to accept the truth, but at least he has reached out.
The great serpent waits in the shadows. He will entwine the universe. That is the truth.
If the Keeper has been to see you, perhaps he has mentioned it?
Yes, I have spoken to your keeper about this. I will tell you what I told him. Jinan Varun meets the unbeliever. He gives false prophecy to Jinan. But such is Jinan's conviction in the great serpent. But the unbeliever returns. Jinan realizes the Great Serpent is testing him, and he will not be found wanting. 4 times. Remember these 4 battles, Jinan, the unbeliever says. Remember these 120 rotations. But Jinan knows this is blasphemy. That is all. I have heard of no such thing. If it exists, it is a shadow that the Great Serpent casts. Then we are done. Leave me.
Oh, you're back. What did you learn? Planets are often named by number. That second might mean the second planet. What else did you learn? If there really is a location the Pilgrim wanted us to find, those do sound awfully like coordinates. Was there anything else? Yes. What he added to infinity. Maybe that points to a name. If we're looking for his resting place, we'd need to know the name of the star system, wouldn't we? Let's see. We have something that could be coordinates. Something that could point to a planet in the system. But what's the infinitum addendum? What if we break down the parts? No systems named finite or add. That just leaves in? Yes, that's it. The second planet in Indum. At 4 and 120. That's where you'll find it. And from there, maybe you'll find the true... Before you go, you've now spoken to many different perspectives in our universe. In a way, you'll be carrying their philosophies with you. I know you're looking for a specific unity, but if you had to guess what it was... Ah, but what makes something like that holy? Gravity is also a force that brings things together. Should that? And so you think this word unity describes a similar miracle? The processes...
Where does one draw the line between science and revelation? I think we must be careful in how we describe...
Well, I won't keep you any longer. This has been fun.
Well, we...
Like touching down on a cloud.
concerted effort to survive here. And yet it would seem it did not work out. What does your scanner reveal? Statue. Clearly some connection to the creatures in the area. What could it mean?
invited to this meeting, but much of our conversation has been about you. It's only fitting you should join us. I will personally guarantee your safety.
And think of it as a ceasefire meeting. Your one shot at getting those answers you must desperately. Let's just say they're very dedicated to stopping me from getting the artifacts. So if you don't trust me, well,
I know your encounters with our kind have not been pleasant, but we are here to talk, and you deserve.
Not a bad description, actually.
We'll explain when we...
Good. See? We can...
I hear constellation.
Hello. Again. Do you remember the emissary, perhaps? And their ship, the Helix? I believe they ambushed you above Neon.
Thank you for the stellar introduction. Your success is unprecedented. Before you came, we were just discussing how continued use of force... Yes, we did. We are not a monolithic people. The Starborn are individuals. Some are united in cause.
We are all in it for ourselves. Some of us... The emissary threatened your ship, demanded you hand over your artifact. How is that so different?
We needed to warn you off. Every encounter with one of our kind could spell...
For whom, exactly? I say whoever can collect them should. And who gets to say that? You? Me? I have debated morality for near infinity. And all I have found are groups of people. Rules and laws spoken as principles.
Enough. We have more to... The unity. You are on the path to it. It is a place, a gateway. It is where...
You've really come a long way since the Welcome to Constellation speech, haven't you? I'm not who you think I am. This universe is only the first one you've been to. I've seen hundreds. Where I came from, I was the one who ran to the Eye. I left you behind to protect the artifact.
One of me, at least.
I collected the remaining artifacts, and they opened the way to the center of my That is the Unity. When I stepped into it, I became a Starborn. It's how I've entered other... They are all connected. And that's the problem. All the artifacts are needed to complete the armillary and open the way to the Unity. In every universe, the Starborn fight over them. You've witnessed the power granted by the temples, the anarchy that can be unleashed. Someone has to decide.
Here it comes. The emissary tells you only the worthy.
You're twisting what I mean.
They're hypocrites. They use the chaos caused by the hunt for the artifacts to establish an... I attacked your lodge because I wanted the artifacts, and you held me off. That wasn't some morality play. You didn't survive because of righteousness. You won because of persistence, luck, as I have done.
I was also human once. But what does it matter who or what I was when eternity... It means I've seen thousands of universes, collected their artifacts, been to their temples. You have a... You're learning. My other self wants you to walk the path he walks, to give up, to... Easy for a person who's seen everything, done everything. I think you should see.
You've never come this far. Not in all the universes I've seen. The path to the Unity is open.
You're going to tip the scales one way or another. Better your hand be on one of our... Bingo.
I want a truce between all three of us. Give you some time to think over which approach to the Unity is the one you want. Mine.
Yes. Let's see how willing you are to live under someone else's rules. Just...
I'll tell you everything I can. I know we are not the same people we met in our universes. Still, it is good to see you again, old friend. When all the artifacts are assembled, the device they create is called the armillary. In many ways, through it, you can reach the Unity. And from there... You've seen the terror the Hunter causes. Every time a Starborn goes through the Unity, they get more artifacts, find more temples, gain more power. We can't let more like him abuse these gifts to destroy whatever's in their way. Different. I never know who you are when I meet a new version, but so much of you, it's hard. But each universe is precious in its own way. Mine will never have its original. It's not an easy experience to describe, but the Unity will speak to you. Offer you. You will be leaving this universe behind to be reborn. Everything. Maybe that's why it offers the choice. Compassion? Or is it testing us?
You might think the emissary is on your side, but your persistence is what forced them to tell you the truth. The Unity is meant for whomever can get there. Don't fall for that talk of worthiness. They enter the Unity, take artifacts from others, employ force. All the things I do. I am many things, but I would never tell anyone what to do with their gifts. That is your decision. The emissary wants to become the judge of who gets to enter. To see what would happen, of course. You might not understand just how many... Usually, you're the one who ends up dead, and whoever cries over your body goes on to become the emissary. Sometimes I manage to get you all bunched up and take care of the problem in one go. Sometimes the emissary has gotten to me first, and I know hundreds and hundreds of variations of me, hacking through Constellation. And it's almost never you. You making it to your ship, I took it as a sign. I don't get many of those anymore. No, we always end up having this meeting at this time. But it's the usual affair. Honestly, I was beginning to wonder why I kept tending. And it's a bad habit I started a long time ago. Perhaps I just like meeting the emissary to gloat. But you have provided something quite new to talk about. Maybe you're a random die roll. Or maybe the unit. I've simply found that it's the quickest way. Talking, forming alliances, waiting for the right moment to commit theft. I'll admit, you getting away has been the most interesting thing to happen in quite some time. As soon as I realized what had happened, I knew I needed to wait until this meeting with the emissary. Whoever created the artifacts and built those temples is playing a game with us. One whose prize is access to... There are no rules. Whoever gets all the pieces wins. And I've won. I don't kill for the Unity. I find the easy...
I want to give you something. A way to another artifact, but also seek the moon of old Earth. There are secrets there you must hear to open the way. Yes. And I am sorry we have not always been. I hope you will see what I have seen. You should also talk to your colleagues in Constellation. I am sure they have gathered more information on the remaining artifacts in the fringes of space. Part of me wonders what they will all say about what you have learned. But I will leave that to you.
So many people, all in one place. I still cannot feel entirely comfortable. I am glad to be back. It will be good to have a moment to relax.
Hey, I've been talking with the others, and, you know. Thank you. I'll have everything set up in a few days.
Mateo told us about your pilgrim's voyage.
You found it, didn't you? The meaning of unity. Wait, say that again? Multiple?
You can't possibly mean what I think.
Hate to be the responsible one, but the big bombshell of what we're actually building here might need another. Want to go over this whole multiple universe thing for everyone?
Yes, I wouldn't mind a little more detail.
Explains why the Starborn want the artifacts so bad. Get them all and you gotta get...
I don't even want to think about the physiological changes you'd need to travel between you.
Plus what it would do to the mind? Enlightenment? Or oblivion?
You have the opportunity to reach the closest thing to your god that might exist.
One doesn't approach the afterlife without some trepidation. You're right. We have to see the unity for ourselves.
You know it. Now once everyone's head stops spinning from all of this, we can get back to...
Not to make a sharp turn in a grand tale, but I got the eye fixed up. Bruised. Let me know when you're ready to follow up on what it's seen. These last glimpses from the eye are from the farthest fringes of known space. Could be the only remaining pieces outside the head. Aye. The blackest sea seems less of a concern when there are sharks. Catch a smile out there.
Constellation has suffered loss. As before, although none quite so violently.
No more Starborn have shown up.
Huh? I thought maybe I would come up with something to say, but I've got nothing. So instead, I thought I would quote something that gave me comfort a long time ago. Is God real? The more proper question would be, is reality divine? Existence itself is a mystery which yearns to be uncovered. What is goodness but a comparison to the good? What is existence but a participation in being? For where the diversity of the universe inspires awe and wonder, it exists only in contrast to a simplicity so pure that it may only be understood as primordial and even divine. Our essence is what was imagined by its mind, but what we consider imagining and what we consider mind are in fact so far beyond our understanding that even these metaphors are like the tiny white caps on a massive surging sea. There's more, but those are the parts that speak to me the most. Thank you.
That was really thoughtful, Mateo. Thank you. Does anyone else want to say anything? Thank you. If anyone else wants to say something. I hope this is all okay. Between fixing things up and sending out messengers and getting all the paper. I haven't really been sleeping much. Good. Sorry, if I talk any longer, I'm gonna start crying.
I don't often speak about what I believe in. It seems so redundant with how I live. But death is one of those occasions where it's hard not to look inward. Our friend is gone. There's no afterlife, or second meetings. No God in heaven that is curating a perfect ending for it. So it's up to us. We are what lives on. If the pain of loss inspires us to greater action, then that is the good that comes from all this. Humanity is what truly creates our world. We are the ones that judge things to be good or evil, joyful or mournful. Let us take responsibility for it. Let us remember what we have lost.
Walter, are you part of the House of Enlightenment? I never knew that.
Yes, well, I like to keep some things private. Chat for a bit? Normally, I hate talking to people at funerals. You don't believe in the afterlife, do you? I mean, this might be the worst time to bring it up,
You
but...
all might not like thinking about this, but when we die...
Yes.
Everything about us breaks down, decomposes, gets eaten up by insects and microbes. Or due to the lack of a biosphere, we are simply carried away by space and time until we sizzle in a distant sun's corona or get pulled in some gravitational field and coalesce with other debris. Not comforting, huh? But I disagree. Do you know what I find uncomfortable? The thought that after I die, the universe is just going to stand still forever. Could you imagine? The fact is that the universe goes on, that life goes on, that things do not just sit still. That right there is the comfort that I need. Yeah, we die. And some people go way before they should. But the universe doesn't care. Not because it's evil, but because it's infinite. Ever expanding. And who wouldn't want to be a part of infinity? Even if it's just for a short while. Listen, we don't worry about ourselves before we were born, do we? Of course not. We emerge from the universe as we return to it. And for one beautiful moment, we are here, together.
Yes, that certainly was an interesting perspective, Barrett.
You know, what you're feeling right now is a chemical reaction. Never seems to work for me, no matter how many times I do this. They're always hard. And it's okay to sob, to yell, to go, as long as your grief doesn't cause more grief for yourself or anybody else. I wrote the book on them. The 10 Stages of Grief by A. Barrett. Step 1 used to be have a drink. But, you know, if there's one piece of advice I can actually give you, it's that lost loved one. One day you'll be sweeping out some old shelf or digging through a desk, and there it'll be. Some old paperweight of theirs. Theoretically. Nope, not even. Funerals are there to remind survivors that they aren't alone. The dead have already. You're welcome. Take a break. Let's chat. Don't have any other advice to add at the moment. Let's hope this is the last one of these I need to attend.
I don't believe we've met. Ajay Mamasa, former chair of I wish the circumstances of my visit. Unfortunately, this isn't the first Constellation funeral I've been to. After 35, I hope you don't mind me saying, but I feel numb just thinking about it. Sarah meant the world to me. She was the future. I knew. Yes. She could make me so angry, or so happy. We used to joke that we were... I bet relationships in Constellation are still messy, aren't they? We're more of a family than an organization. It makes the losses sting harder. But I hope it means the time you had together was all the... Exactly the same as when you met her, I bet. Determined. Fearless. With just a small hint of delight on her face. My only problem as a mentor was trying to convince her to be more tactful. Those old... Oh yes, I was Sebastian Bench's protege. If that gives you any idea of how long I was part of our little club. Knew him, argued with him, tried to carry on his memory. Sebastian will be back tomorrow, we always used to say. It reminded us that
Don't drown too much in all this despair. Life moves on.
I am told these types of gatherings are a... No, I don't. I'm programmed to analyze sensory and biometric data, so I can... I appreciate you verifying my analysis, although I am certain my thanks will do little to improve. If you would like, though, I can add some consoling language. It will take some time to adapt, but I will note that feedback.
Hi. No. And don't keep... Everything's worse now. So many people here. It doesn't change anything. Everything's... I just feel like I want to be a million light years away from
Everyone is in mourning. After the shock of what happened faded, I have felt nothing else. I have seen death. I have lost people I considered close. I am not sure I'm making sense. Thank you. I have things I wish to discuss with you. I am reminded of how different Constellation works. I am sorry. My head is swimming.
Is it quieter in the lodge? I guess it's good to be in fact. You know, there's an old Aquila story about two pioneers who got lost trying to find a new frontier. One of them takes ill. Clear he's not gonna make it. He turns to his partner and says, "Don't bury me. Let the ground take what it's... I'd rather be a ghost chasing after you than walk through the pearly gates knowing an eternity of loneliness until you get there." Sad story, huh? You look after yourself. And when you get a moment, can we talk? Lodge sure feels like a lonelier place.
Drink? For two old friends. May their ghosts go past it. Aye.
Got a lot of sad tales I'm running through my head right now. Hate to bore you.
It almost feels wrong to be grieving. Selfish. Yes. We don't have a way of knowing whether we really touched the departed with our grief. It's just easier to feel guilty, if you'll excuse me.
Ever since I got here, this has felt like home. These people are family.
This is
I hope it feels that way for you.
the unity. No kidding. Think of the dissertations. This explains so much. They're disorganized, petty, weird, and all so deep. We never ruled that out, but it feels so good to know we weren't fighting against robot alien ghost gods or something. No, not even. They're people who obtain power in some unfair way, and some of them have used that power to cause suffering, and others just didn't. But that's what regular people do every day. True. We need to approach this critically and carefully. But it all comes back to this. We don't know what will happen. You might lose yourself or become a two-headed space shark. There are too many What? No. I just have to go back and forth about it for a while first. Just part of my process. Of course, at the end of the day, it's your choice. Our entire purpose in Constellation. Why would we stop now? It's the nexus point for all universes with infinite possibilities. I'm with you. I'm not gonna hold you. But if you know, become evil or whatever, I'm also not gonna. Anytime. The possibility of turning evil. You're guiding Constellation to new frontiers. On that note, it's not on the scale of entering the Unity, but it... Thanks. This has been... So, I've been pondering over what's happened, and I've got a favor to ask. A teensy-weensy favor. I think it's time I joined you in the physics-bending powers business. See if one of those temples works for... What, you think you're the only one who can walk around in a cape? Granted, it's just a theory, but I venture anyone who experienced... You got a vision, I got a vision. Marvelous. I'm glad. As it so happens, I've already talked to Vladimir. He sent me the coordinates for the temple already.
You know, the way you handle things, not bad. Not bad. So we know the answer. Who are the... Well, we are. We're some cracked mirror version of ourselves. The whole thing seems... Doesn't it? I was hoping the Starborn were somehow so advanced that their concerns were... Instead, they're fighting over goddamn toys like we've been doing since caveman times. And they seem to be just as messed up as the rest of us. So the Unity is a gate, and you have a chance to go through it. I'd be lying if it doesn't sound like the event. I don't know if you're taking anyone with you, but if you take me, I got no idea if I'd go through or not. If it went for Cora, Cora would probably shove both of us out of the way and dive in first. Born explorer, that girl. That's good. I know it's your decision who to work with, but you gotta remember that Sure, the emissary may be a version of Sarah, but that doesn't make what the Hunter did right. Not by a long... If the Starborn are party crashers from different universes, I'd side with the one that's not willing to... Excellent. Glad my head is still spinning. Take care.
Hello, love. So, we finally have all the answers. This talk of the unity of a multiverse? Does it? Perhaps you find all this satisfactory, but we must take the word of a murderer and follow him into the unity? What if it does nothing? I do not know how to respond. I understand what... Even if everything the Starborn have said is true, if you pass into this unit, look at who they are, and what they have become. Are you not at all worried that the same fate would befall you? That you would become someone Yes, I know. For your sake, I will try not to imagine the worst. Focus on the positives, but you must understand that I do not find we should get back to it. Now that we know what to work towards.
Hey, Captain.
Who in... Can you believe this is finally happening? Whoa. Hello, handsome. You got to be joking. Nope. Okay. Agreed. Not worth forming a That doesn't make sense. Cloning is a complicated procedure involving a lot of complex science. A whole lot weirder. That's one way to put it. You know, my captain asked the same. Different captain, though. So you aren't an From my readings, you don't have your appendix, and you're a quarter of a centimeter. Minor differences, but fascinating. I wonder... Me. Accurate. Molecular binary schism? Temporal twin... Don't forget the fluctuations in the energy patterns, which align almost at harmonized vibrations, distorting some mechanical barrier between... Impossible to know with such a minute substance. We need more data. Obviously. I'll be Barrett Prime. Amundsen is fine. Usually the barrier between us is too thick to communicate much anyway. Amundsen? Now I know you. Hey, one of us has to... Why stop at 2? It won't work. The energy required increases exponentially. I'm already exhausted. In a way that's hard to describe. Sorry, friend. You'll feel right as rain when I dissipate. Whoa there. Sustaining this connection requires a... You will eventually monitor the energy fluctuations and agree. But I could study this. Irvin told me to just enjoy it and collect data on the side for later. Irvin? He's with you. By the tone of your voice, I'm gathering some things in our lives. Is he... Yes, he is. Our daughter pilots the ship after Vasco was destroyed. But otherwise... Going on 20 years. But we're starting to turn... Imagine all of the variation. Amazing. Sounds like you don't have a daughter. No, we talked about it, but we named her after Aja, my mentor. She died in the crossfire between the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective. For me, Irvin died instead of Aja in that crossfire. She's best friends with Cora. And, of course. Oh, man. I only hope the new one we're building is just as salty as the last one. My husband, he passed 20 years ago. It's the horror of the infant. Unimaginable. I promise. He's happy. I have so many questions. I wonder how many paths I've taken. We've taken. How many variations? I think about that all... Wait. Starborn ship. No idea. This isn't how the power works for me. You pretty much know everything I do now, more than I ever hoped. What happens for any of... I don't think it works that way, though. Maybe I'm just a construct or a memory. I don't know. Good to know. We can handle this. On it. already do, my friend. I promise.
So look, for the record, I am the same Barrett that came here with you. For sure. Isn't it? I mean, hey, at least only one other Barrett appeared. Imagine if it... kinda. I mean, here's the thing. It's pretty exhausting. A second one of me seems... well... But yes, I tried. Briefly. Then I stopped when I realized how... True. How would I stand out in a crowd made entirely of... Anyway, it's a relief, you know. I have this ability, this power. And I'm still just... And I already feel like it's subsiding. I no longer feel like I'm in a huge... Yes, though it takes a lot of concentration. If I do it a lot, I bet I'd give myself a headache. From myself. I thought so too. Other me, other Barrett, seemed like he was able to handle it. Anyway, we'll see. If the other me gets in the way, I can just release him or stop using the power. For now, I just need to use this power a bit and digest what all... Sure, but give me some time. I want to use it a bit. That's pretty exhausting, really. So I might only do it when I feel like we could use...